And good morning, everyone. This is Matt from Mr. and Mrs. Quickflip.com. Today is, I believe it's June 21st, 2013. Maybe it's the 20th. Can't remember. Can't keep it straight these days. But anyway, it's been a good week for us, for Courtney and I. Last Friday, actually, we closed 8 deals, which is a pretty good day. That doesn't happen all the time. We closed another one this Tuesday, and we got another one closing on Monday, and then another one closing next Thursday as well. So it's turning out to be a good month. But anyway, this particular segment is just going to be on how we did this particular flip, on how you do eight flips in one day, because that obviously doesn't happen all the time, and I just want to go over some of the logistics with you guys. And this will be very quick because I'm starving and I need to go make myself breakfast before I faint, but I wanted to get this done first. Also expecting a new laptop today, any minute here, by FedEx. So this will probably be my last recording on this particular laptop, so I'm pretty excited about that. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to talk just real quick on how we did 8 flips in one day. These are the 8 checks from last Friday. You can see the date there. I'll maybe I'll highlight this when I edit the video, but these 8 checks total up to, I believe, $16,800, and then we did a 9th on a Tuesday. That was part of this deal that brought it up to $18,200. So anyway, let's just jump into how we did this. This is how I broke it down. The reason we were able to get it done was 4 things: persistence, patience, contracts, and networking. So, and what do I mean by each of those things? Well, persistence, for one. This isn't really a deal that we had to go find. Actually, we'll get to that on the networking part. But anyway, this took about 8 weeks to get done. 6 to 8 weeks. I think this goes back to April when I started marketing these properties, and we started out probably way too high on the pricing, and that's why it took so long. But the initial price I had this at, I believe, let me just check an email from way back. Okay, here's one that I sent, and that was 5/23. Okay, here's one from, you can't see the date on here, but it's April 10th, and so that was just about 2 months ago. You can see then I was selling it for $275. That was a package of 7, and there was also a package of 3 from another seller that I threw this in there, so it was a total of a 10-pack, and was trying to get around $305 or $310 for it, something like that. And a couple buyers were very interested and went through many iterations of the deal with different buyers looking at the deal, sending contracts back and forth, and showing pictures and leases, because these are all rented properties. So it was a pretty nice deal, turnkey properties that the gross monthly rents were around $8,800, which is pretty good for around a $300,000 investment. Very good ROI. So the hook was it was great ROI. The bad thing was that these properties were in maybe not the nicest areas of town, but if you got good management in place, a lot of them were Section 8, so the rent is guaranteed. It was a pretty good deal for a willing investor who wants to take on that management challenge, or has good property management already in place in that area. So these are all in St. Petersburg, Florida. We call it South St. Pete. It's kind of a rougher side of town, but some good ROI could be had. So anyway, this took 2 months to get done after a lot of different negotiations with multiple buyers. I finally got the seller to come down a little bit on price, and then finally through remarketing it at a lower price, I got one buyer, someone that I had worked with previously, to agree on a price, and we wrote up some new contracts and We finally closed on it last Friday, and it was a lot of work. It was as far as going through all the back and forth and revising contracts and revising closing dates and things like that. But it was all done from home because I actually never saw these properties, and I actually never even met the seller in person. It was all done over the phone, through text messaging, and through email. So I technically never had to leave my house to get this deal done. So you could theoretically say I did it in my PJs, but we'll just say I was in my shorts and flip flops for the most part of it. So that was the persistence part. Patience kind of goes along the same lines as that, because I could have given up on this deal a long time ago after numerous investors told me this is way overpriced. There's no way they were going to pay that price for these properties, because they, like the tax assessed value was about half of what we sold these for. But they were recently renovated, so that was how we justified it, as well as the rent. So the patience part of it was I stuck in there for months on this deal, Courtney and I, and the seller was very pushy. It was every day he was calling me to see where we were at with the deal. Are we going to close tomorrow, or are we going to close by Friday? Like every week it was like, are we going to close by Friday? Are we going to close by Friday? And every week we had to keep pushing it out another week, then going back and forth on the pricing. And I wanted to give up many times on this deal, and I'm glad I did not. And I had to deal with a lot of different buyers demanding different things, different information. So it definitely took some patience on my part. So that was definitely one saving grace, because I do believe I have a pretty good patience. Another important factor in all this was contracts, because I did have to get this deal under contract to be able to have equitable interest in these properties, to be able to legally market and legally make money on these properties. So I think I pulled up an example of my contract here. Here's the contract. Here's an example. This is one of the ones we started out with. So I used my company name here, got it under contract. Here's the properties on 7 of them. Sales price at the time, I think I got it lower later on. Buyer pays all closing costs. And then some of that information. So here's my 2-page contract. So I did get it under contract, so I was able to legally market it. And I suggest you guys do the same thing when you're marketing other properties, because you could get yourself in some trouble. But it can be done. You can market other wholesalers' properties or other investors' properties. The seller in this situation was an investor and just wanted to get out of these properties and move into a different set of properties, like a apartment building. So he just wanted a quick cash sale, and I told him I could get it done for him. So he believed in me, but he also believed in a lot of other people as well, because it turns out this package was marketed by a handful of other wholesalers in the area. So a lot of people had seen this package from other people, which really kind of mucked things up there for a while. And eventually I kind of stuck with it, and the seller gave me a pretty good deal at the end of the day to get the deal done. And I finally found a buyer that was willing to do it at that price. So, and then how did I find this investor? And it was through networking, really. And I think I had potentially sent this guy a yellow letter on one of his properties, and he said he had multiple properties he wanted to get rid of. And I said, well, I'm probably not going to buy these for myself, but I can help you get them sold. And he, for some reason or another, did not want to list with a realtor. So I told him I was just a local wholesaler, and I have a lot of good cash buyers that are interested in these types of properties. And so he said, okay, I'll let you market it. I said, okay, well, let me just get these under contract and we can do it. But just kind of letting him know that I was a wholesaler with good contacts allowed him to give him faith in me that I could get the deal done. And at the end of the day, we did. So that's how it happened. And it was definitely a good week. 2 months of work though, that's definitely paid off. So finally last Friday I went to my title company and picked up these 8 beautiful checks, and then picked up a 9th on Tuesday, and then there's a 10th deal. 10th house is part of this deal that had to be left off because of some code violation issues that we still have to resolve. So that should close in another week or so, and I'll make another $2,000 on that particular deal. But not a huge spread here. Typically, I'm hoping to make 3 to 5, up to 10,000 per deal. But since I really had no skin in the game, I really didn't even have to put down a deposit to get these under contract. So it was a pretty skinny deal to start out with, but I still made on average about 2,000 per property. So I'll take that all day for never having to leave the house and never having to go see all these houses and run through inspections and all that. Actually, the property manager did the inspections with my buyer, so that went smoothly, and obviously the deal went down, and it was a great thing. So just kind of being out there helps you get in front of these types of opportunities. So it's all about marketing and all about becoming known as a local wholesaler with good deals, and that's how you can run into to deals like this. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say today. So I want to at least let you guys know that we're out there doing it every day. We're putting 110 yellow letters in the mail today. See if we can get some more leads and more deals going. Like I said, we got 2 more closings next week. Got a couple other houses under contract, so we're staying busy. Hope you guys are too, and hope you guys keep in touch with us and let us know how we can help you out with your business. Want to get you up and running as fast as possible so you can get some of these checks just like we did, and get you out of the rat race sooner rather than later, right? All right, well that's me signing off. I was going to share maybe a buddy video with you. This is pretty funny. Hopefully we're not wasting your time here, but I'll go ahead and play it anyway because it's pretty funny. It's my dog Buddy swimming on a raft, and
Buddy, you on a float?
He's a trip.
You on the float, just floating? Oh.
He likes his floats.
Float. Come on, buddy. Come get the float.
As you can see, he's a water dog.
Buddy, come on. This way. All right, let's go get the float. Come on.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's get the float. Come here. Come here.
He's crazy.
All right, let's get on it. Don't eat the float. All right. Good boy, buddy. You are funny. All right, let's hang on.
He likes his floats.
Don't eat the floats. Don't eat the float. You goofball.
All right. Well, that's Buddy. But anyway, guys, have a great weekend. It's Friday, and I know I'm gonna do a little bit of work here and then call it a day and enjoy the weekend. So you guys do the same, and I'll be in touch. Take care.